Hello and welcome to the vlog. It's a snowy Sunday afternoon in Michigan. Yet again. I'm serious. Yet again. Alright, so maybe I should have learned a lesson by now, but I haven't. Still here. Alright, so I wanted to talk to you guys today about teaching your kids, if you have kids, or teaching friends, if you have friends. Right now, my youngest son is learning how to do them brakes. Well, it's a good thing he's got a long tee on, otherwise it would have been a crack shot. Say hi, Chris. Bye. So what we're doing right now is we're doing brakes. We have our little 10 by 10 tent here, which this was probably like 10 minutes ago. Chris knocked this off, so here we go. It's snowing a bit. It's a bit snowy out here. Ready? It's like an avalanche. Alright, so Chris is right now taking off the calipers. We're going to replace the rotors and the pads. This is part of what I taught the kids when they were younger, but they learned it on my vehicle. So really the application didn't really stick. They know the basics, but they don't really know how to finalize a lot of the stuff that they're doing. He doesn't want them to fail on them, and he's just learning how to do them. And now that he owns the car, there's a bit more, what do you say, ownership in the process. So just having fun, teaching him how to change his brakes in the snow. If you're wondering what that crazy, ridiculous sound is, that is I love this thing. It is a Torpedo Kita. This right here has kerosene in it, and it basically just shoots out a ridiculously hot flame, as evident by, that's because of that heat. I could actually point it in a different direction, it would just melt the heat, or melt the snow. Alright, so here we go. This is the bad side. So what you have here is a rotor that has been chewed up by my son driving a bit. Normally, actually, it doesn't really matter how you drive. You can wear them out faster, but you can see that this caliper appears to have stuck there, and it's not, this doesn't sound good. It kind of goes. So we're going to replace those rotors. This is a rotor. This is the caliper. These are the pads. This is the bleeder. If you ever heard somebody say we're going to bleed the brakes. And that's it. It's pretty simple. How this works is fluid gets pushed through this hose, pushes on the piston in the back, pushes the piston on this back pad into the rotor. It squeezes the rotor, that causes friction that slows the vehicle down. That's how your brakes work. It's hydraulic pressure. Alright, well actually let's see what happens over here. They're both loose, bottom and top. Alright, so take those all the way out. You gotta come all the way out? Well, this one come out. Yeah, there you go. Alright, that's fine. But so all you have to do is pick that caliper right up off. Oh, I just want them. There we go. Alright. So what Chris just did was he took that off. Now this rotor has to come off. Yeah. So take that hammer and just smack the back of that rotor. There you go. Alright, so what you have here is your hub. You've got your CV shaft. That's what takes the power from the transmission right through to the wheel. Transmission's that way. Now take that other pad off the front of that. Good. That's it. Alright. So let me talk a little bit about the rotor while you're pulling this out. So if you look at this rotor, it's got what we call stone ground on it. And stone ground, it kind of looks like swirls. So you can see how this ground pattern, hang on, don't move too much. So you can see right here, see how this line goes this way, this line goes this way, this way, this way. They've taken a stone, giant stone, and they've gone like this across the whole surface. So this is true. Yes, they spin this while the stones spin, and that's what gives you that swirly pattern. They do it on both sides. So this is true from here to here. It's going to be the same dimension, same thickness, no matter what. So if you look at it very closely, you can see that there's like a film on this. So turn it over this way. And you see there's like a film. That film is what they call cosmoline. and it's to protect the rotor from rusting while it sits on the shelf. That's why it's in these plastic bags. If inside of here it's like a waxy, nasty feeling. So what we have to do is clean that off. That's what brake clean is good for. So Chris is gonna hose this off and you'll be able to see. So just wipe off the majority of it. Go ahead, now wipe it while it's wet. Alright. Cool. Yep. You don't need to get a lot of it off, just most of it off. You're still going to smell a really nasty smell when you first brake. So these are good rotors because they also have them coated here with gray paint, so it'll keep it from rusting. Just going to put that back on. We need also your brake shoes, or pads actually. Shoes are for the back, pads are for the front. Alright, this was in no way endorsed by this company. Okay, so first step we're going to do is we're going to replace the rubber grommets. These right here are, it's hardware for your calipers. Actually, we don't even probably need to. Yeah, we will. So if you guys look right here, this is a pin, so we're going to pull that all the way out. Then this rubber is going to get pushed out. Then we're going to replace it with this new rubber here, and that prevents it from like squealing and squeaking and cracking and things like that. Take that out. Alright, there you go. So now we're going to pull that rubber grommet out. You use a screwdriver. You figure it out once you have it in your hand. Now you might not feel like you're getting very far, but you figure it out. Did it rip again?
Rust is holding it.
Yeah, that rust is killing it. There you go, all that rust that's on there. All that rust, now if you look in the middle of it, there's rust that had started to break through the rubber and it started to crack. So that's going to prevent that slide from slipping through there. What I'm grabbing right now to help Chris is what they call Scotch-Brite. It's the same stuff you use when you're washing your dishes in the kitchen, except this stuff is industrial. This stuff is made to take rust and anything off of metal other than the metal. So you use this to remove rust, you can use this to remove paint, you can use this to remove pretty much everything, but it won't remove the actual dimension of the part. So I would not advise buying this industrial grade Scotch-Brite and using it on your car, on your pans I should say, in the house, but getting this Scotch-Brite and using this on your car, perfectly good. And so I'm going to hand this to Chris and he's going to roll this up like a little tube, like a burrito of silky scratchiness, and we're going to turn that inside of that part and we're going to get rid of all that rust. And so this stuff again is, this is actually the Maroon 7447 by 3M, which is super awesome good stuff. Straight out, clamp around the edge of it and turn and pull. Yes, you have to loosen that up. Alright, you got it out. So again, what you're seeing, so let me explain this now that you can see it better. That bolt, right, is what this rubber slides back and forth on. And so you can tell that this rubber is not sliding on that at all. It's stuck. Like, I can't push that at all. So if we were to leave that in, that caliper would never slide back and forth. It would only force the pads to come together, and so it won't operate optimally. So you're going to actually ruin your brakes quicker by not fixing this problem. So what we're going to do now, we don't even have to do this. We can actually just take a razor blade and slit that so you're not scratching that up. So look at that right there. So see that nastiness was somebody using the wrong kind of lubricant. That lubricant heated up and fused to the rubber, and so this entire piece of hardware is really probably close to garbage, but we are going to try and save it with sandpaper and Scotch-Brite. So what you're witnessing here, we took that piece of hardware and we screwed it back into where it belonged on the car. Now the advantage here is that we don't have to fight holding on to it. And Chris is just taking a slip of sandpaper and he's running it around it like he's shining a shoe. And so what you can see is he's allowing the shape of the part to direct his sandpaper. So now that we took off all of that with sandpaper, Chris is going to go back with this Scotch-Brite 7447 and get some maroon hand pad, and that's going to polish up the remainder of what's there. So it'll make it a little bit more slick. It'll get rid of any more debris that we see. All right, so now Chris is going to take this Scotch-Brite, roll it up like a little sausage, and he's going to shove it in the sausage hole. This is not going to change the dimension of the hole. It's only going to get rid of the rust. So he's got to put that through there, all the way through, twisting it, turning it, keep pushing it all the way through. There are faster ways to do this with what they call a abrasive hones, where it's just little stones, the wires and stones, wire brushes. But the challenge with those is you have to have power, and the other thing is that you can really hurt yourself. I nearly lost my vision in my left eye using one. All right, so now that you got it through there, just keep working it back and forth a little bit. Look at all that rust flying out of there. The next step we are going to do is actually prep the saddle. That's what it's called. So down here, Chris is going to take that Scotch-Brite pad right where he's pointing, and you're going to scrape off all that excess rust. So go ahead and do that. Now, a wire brush works great for this, but
We ain't got no wire.
I do, I just can't find it. All right, do that same thing on the bottom one. Brake clean, guys. We're going to take that, we're going to spray it in the hole and on everything you just brushed off all that rust on, because we want to get rid of any of the excess particles that are there. Exactly. Careful your eyes. Spray it inside the hole on both of them. Yep. Get rid of any of those particles. Blast it out. All right. Take yourself a paper towel or Kleenex or something and just wipe down everything you just shot off. You can do the top one too. Now Chris is going to grab that purple, that blue pouch of oil, of grease that's inside the pad. Blue pouch of grease. You're going to put that on both of those slide areas, and then you're going to put just a little bit inside of that hole. You can see, Chris, we put the grease on this line here. That's for the pad to slide on, and we've greased up that hole where that rubber is going to go into. So go ahead and grab that rubber.
Pro tip, don't want to get it on your hands or gloves. Keep the package, smeared around.
That's a pro tip. There you go. Once you get that in there, then you can just push it through so you get it to seat. Oh. We have to prep the pads. So when you look at this little pin right here, this little part right here, see that little flap that's sticking up there? That is what they call the brake sensor. It's gonna squeak. Now, when you put it on the car, nope, you don't want to put it that way. You want the motion to push on that, not pull from that. So that's the wrong pad for this side. This one would go this way. Again, let me show again. So hold that right there for me. So the reason why, again, is because this part right here, you want the rotor to push down on this, and that causes it to spring back up, and that causes that squeal, that high-pitched whee as your brakes get low. This is the pad that they had on this side, and you can tell it's the wrong side because here's your squeal pad. See, it broke off?
It broke, yeah.
So they had that on the wrong side, which is why Chris didn't hear it squeal before the brakes were bad. So Chris has put some lube on both those, right? So you're just going to slide that down and hit that notch on the top. See that little V? That's it. Right, now your two little pins, you got to grease them bad boys up.
This isn't a clean job.
Alright, he's got it started.
There she goes. Does it matter if I have this one tightened all the way?
Yeah, you have to tighten them all the way up.
All right, a tip out there for the younger crowd. I'm 21 and I have never done my brakes before. I've seen brakes being done, but I've never actually done them. So like actually hands in there doing them. it's actually pretty humbling. I've always paid people to do my brakes, or my dad's done my brakes. But being actually being able to do it, learn how to do it, now I know I have a skill that I can like use on myself and not have to pay that extra $40 to get my brakes done. I can save money, makes you feel good about yourself, do a little bit of hard work, only takes like 2 hours. If you need your front brakes done, find somebody that knows how to do brakes and ask them. If your dad knows how, your uncle, whoever it is, ask and see if they can teach you and, you know, learn something new that, you know, humbles you. So that's my pro tip.